So I'm going to go ahead and show you as my officer self how I'm going to go ahead and generate a report. Please keep in mind that other people in the workflow can generate reports as well, but I'm starting with this officer level, the primary part of the workflow. Anyhow, so to create a new report, you go ahead and click Create New. On this template, you get to choose your template. So I only have one form in here now, which is an incident report, and later on in the demo, I'll show you the forms designer and how to create other reports. But for now, we're just going to go ahead and choose an incident report. This is set up to auto-generate my case numbers. It can also be configured to allow for manual entry of case numbers in case you're tracking those somewhere else outside of this application. We provide for that ability. These here, the patrol investigations other, or how I would color code it on the interface. You can go ahead and change the priority after you've generated the report, or you can start and name the priority now before you create the report. This is if you want to create a template, and I'll get into that later in the demo, but I don't want to tackle that right now. So essentially, this is how I could generate a report. Go ahead and click Create New Report after I've chosen my template. I'm going to make it a high priority. Click Create New. Is it a supplement? No, it's actually an original. So you'll see here, this is just a basic template. This is the template that comes with the system when you first install. You have the ability to generate your own templates, so you can make this look however you want in the system, but this is one that we generate, and it's a default template that comes with the application. It works like a basic web page, so if you want, you can go ahead and use drop downs. Okay, well, we're just going to go ahead and call it a theft report. So I can type. As I type, you'll see it narrows down the drop down list. Once I see what I want, I just go ahead and click Enter, and it populates that for me. Like any other web page of the world, you tab to move forward, you shift tab to go backwards. Go ahead and put in an address. You can use a physical address. I like to type in all caps, Main Street. And again, you can work through that. We have nice, features within the application that makes it easier. So for a date, you can use the calendar picker. Alternative, you can also enter a date in what they call military style. So for today's date, August 18th, 2015, I can just do 081815, and then tab out of it, and you'll see it auto-formatted it for me. So I don't have to worry about that formatting type. You can use, again, the military style date or the calendar picker, or you can type it in manually. It's up to you. So I'm going to say it's currently 1424, and then tab through. And again, this is a drop down. I'm just going to go ahead and choose that this person is going to be the victim. One of the other features we keep within the application is the ability to query pre-existing information in the database. So let's say that I'm a police officer out in the field and I deal with Timpakes all the time because he's just a big troublemaker. I can actually type that person's last name in there. It's going to query the database for Timothy Pake's, and it'll narrow it down based on here's my date of birth. So I got Timothy Pakes. He has no driver's license, born in 1988. I wish. But 1988, go ahead and click Timothy Pakes, and you'll see it auto-populates all that information for me. So I don't have to re-key all of that information. It's in the database, it's available, and I just go ahead and pull it out from the database. If you have other people involved, you can go ahead and do manual. So let's say is a suspect. We're going to put in an unknown suspect. All we know is that poor Tim lost all of his goods. So again, within the application, we have the drop-down feature. You can create your own drop-downs. You can modify how them fit. We also have the ability to query pre-existing information out of the database. It doesn't have to be just people information. We can actually store location information in the database. We have one application where we store animals in the database for an animal services agency. So I go ahead and work through my document. There's a little synopsis section down here for a very small narrative. If I wanted to go ahead and add another form to this, I can go ahead and pull from this drop down and add another form to this. So again, as I said before, you can save it at any intermediary phase. Go ahead and save it, come back to it later and finish it. You also have the ability to close out of it and come back to later. So you'll notice I wrote the report, I have it here in this editing status. Please keep in mind also that as you're writing this report, there is what we call an autosave feature, so it's actually saving back to the database every minute for the user. So in case there's some sort of catastrophe, you're not going to lose that report. We're saving back every minute. And that's configurable to 30 seconds as well. We also have the ability to add what are called business rules. So if you wanted to add required fields, again, the formats, things of that nature, you can have. We have a business rules engine that is applied as well. We're going to close out of this. We've done some business rules where it's multi-tiered. So if you have if-then statements, if I fill in A, then I must fill in B. We've also done it up to 3 and 4 levels. So if I fill in A and I put a specific value in A, then I need to put in a specific value in B and what have you and so forth. You can actually require things as the person moves through the report. So as I said before, I can go ahead and change that priority here on the interface. I can change this. I can make it a confidential report if I wanted to have a confidential report, so that what it does, if I mark it as confidential, it'll actually pull it out of the general pool of reports. And only those with that specific ability will be able to view those confidential reports. So I went and wrote the report. I'm satisfied with how it looks. I have the ability now where I can go ahead and upload attachments to this. So I can say upload files. Let's see, desktop. So an example of something you might upload might be pictures. You might want to, I don't have any attachments, but we'll just go ahead and grab something random here. How about we go to desktop, and we'll go ahead and add a logo just for fun. So here it is. So an example of what you might upload to the system, again, are pictures. So we're working on this report. It's a theft. Let's say somebody broke into a car. You can take a picture of the broken door lock. You can actually record audio. You can record video. Anything that you have on your computer at the time, you can go ahead and upload as an attachment. Any sort of ancillary documentation, a witness statement, things of that nature. If I upload the wrong one, I can just go ahead and click delete and remove it from there. And the nice thing about these attachments is that when it's all bundled as one nice unit, if you will, one nice collection of virtual paper to my supervisor, so when they go ahead and review it, they don't have to look elsewhere for other things such as attachments. Oh, where are those pictures? I need to navigate to the network folder, and here's my report. Now it's all combined in one nice package, if you will. So once I'm satisfied, I wrote my report. I'm going to go ahead, I added my attachment. I'm just going to go ahead and approve it to my supervisor. I click approve this document here. If I want to relate any notes or questions to my supervisor, I can write those in here. And then when I click submit, you'll see here that the status changes to approved by officer. And also the notes that I wanted to relay to my supervisor are down here in the document history. So that when the supervisor gets to this report, they say, hey, oh, look, there's something I need to be aware of. But I'll show you that in the next level of the approval process. So in its simplicity, that's how an officer, whether they're a security officer at a hotel or a security officer at a management facility, whoever it is that needs to generate an incident report, a police officer can generate it here as an officer role, and it's actually that easy to fill out a report.